NSE 20 down today, and that's after we'd seen it breach the 4,000 resistance level this week. What do you make of that?
Yes, the NSE shed quite a number of points today. We're just short of the 4,000 mark by 7 points. Basically, what's happening is that the institutional investors, foreign institutional investors, are still the ones placing up the market. So it's still a game of wait and see as to when the local players will come into the market.
Let's look at the actual stocks that were traded actively. There was some interest in the commercial and services sector, and that's to be expected. You've got prime stocks there from the media groups to Safaricom. But the movers today, Kenyan Airways, Access Kenya, and again Safaricom. What do you make of that?
Yes, Safaricom did move a hefty volume today, about 21 million shares. I think on the local front, it's that the concerns of this mobile number portability have been washed away, but the foreign investors have come in and are the ones that really moved that counter. Access Kenya, it's really difficult to make a head or tail on that counter right now because we really are not understanding the fundamentals mismatch with the market upturn. So it's looking brighter ahead as the markets continue.
Kenyan Airways, tell us about that one, because we know although you know, so much optimism about visitor figures returning and rising in Kenya, Kenyan Airways is facing stiff competition from local operators, especially low-cost carriers, and so there are a few fare wars that we're seeing in this sector of the market.
Yes, the low-cost competitors are really a global thing all over the world now. So Kenya Airways is no exception. What's happening with Kenya Airways is that there is quite some concern on the fuel costs. So the investors have you know, some misgivings about this particular stock. So Kenya Airways, it's still a bit dicey. And moving forward, we're expecting them to raise some capital. We're not particularly sure if it will take the form of the equity or in the form of some fixed income. So Kenya Airways is really a stock to look forward to seeing some developments on.
All right, there's news out today about HSBC opening up a local office. Has that in any way caused excitement, particularly on the financial stocks front? Because we know that banking has been a prime mover of this index. The earnings have been superb. Yes,
the HSBC news story today is bringing in some hope and expectations for the other listed financial counters that they will benefit in some way from this representative office. Last year we saw Nedbank also obtain some license for a representative office, and from that there have been a few deals channeled through to the listed companies. So we hope that moving forward the same will happen with HSBC as Kenya intends to make Nairobi an international financial hub.
Kimathi, I'm glad you mentioned Nedbank, because I'll tell you what's going on in South Africa. Rumors abound that HSBC may make an offer to buy Nedbank. It's been a rumor that's been in the market for probably the last year and a half, and it's a rumor that's refusing to go away. So short of a firm offer, are we likely to see an alliance of some sort with HSBC piggybacking off Nedbank in its African operations? Are there any signs in Kenya of that sort of synergy?
Yes, that kind of synergy, and also the rumors have been there for quite a while, this time in relation to National Bank and Nedbank. They've been there on and off the table historically. So those kind of synergies, should anything come to the fore, will really augur well for whichever companies that gets the benefit of that.
Also news out today is that the central bank is working on guidelines and rules for direct selling of treasury bonds, effectively paving the way for lucrative international investment banks to enter the market for the buying of Kenyan treasuries. Any sense of how that impacted the bond markets today?
Well, it's an issue that has been really one of the tug of war. Before, it was the stockbrokers versus the banks, Now, with foreign players coming in, it's not likely to augur too well for the local banks. So today, the immediate impact on the fixed income markets has not quite filtered in, but looking forward, we expect that to come and filter into the fixed income markets.
Obviously, there's also the issue of political risk sentiment in the Grand Coalition. And today we've got 3 senior government officials who've now made an appearance at the ICC at The Hague. How is that particular court process impacting the markets? We know that for the longest time it was creating a heightened risk sentiment. Has that been priced in, do you think?
Yes, I think this has been fully priced in by the local players. What I'm not too sure about is if the international investors have factored this into their pricing. As I mentioned earlier, it's the foreign institutional investors really who are bullish on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. So that's yet to be seen because actually tomorrow another 3 members will be before the ICC.